like to welcome some newcomers. I see a few new people sign on.
Hare Krishna, thank you all. Thanks for the children for beautiful songs and slokas. Hare Krishna. Om Shuklam Bharadram Vishnum Sasivarnam Sadapujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Pashante Yasyatma Bhutasya Guru Prasadhat Aham Vimuktoshmi Sharira Bhandhat Sarvopadeshtu Purushottamasya Tasyangri Padma Pranatosmi Nityam Prahlada Narada Paradhara Pundarika Vyasamrisha Sukha Saunaka Bhishma Dalbhyan Rukmanga Udava Bhishana Palgunadin Punyanimam Parama Bhagavatam Namami Janmadi Aseto Anvyadidara Sarcha Arteshu Abhignaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Havaye Mukhyanti Suraya Tejo Varimrita Mita Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Amrita Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhum Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharma Prochita Kaitava Atra Paramo Nirmasaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Sivadan Tapatrayon Molanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krit Kimva Parairishwaraha Sadhyo Hridi Avarutyate Atra Kritibhi Sushrushvi Takshanat Nihama Kalpataror Haditam Palam Sukham Kat Amridam Diva Samyuktam Vipata Bhagavatam Rasamali Muravo Rasika Bhui Bhavukaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavadaseya Bhavaya Bhavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Vasudeve Bhavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahaitukam Shunvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanaha Hridayantustohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhrit Satam Vasudeva Para Veda Vasudeva Paramakaha Vasudeva Para Yoga Vasudeva Para Kriyaha Vasudeva Param Jnanam Vasudeva Param Tapaha Vasudeva Paro Dharma Vasudeva Para Gatihi Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranama Dukkha Shamanam Namami Harim Param Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Tarpuchivachanam Pangum Langayategam Yat Kripatamagam Sri Gurum Dinadharinam Paramanandam Madhavam. Hare Krishna. We are going to enter into Mathura, living Gokula. Krishna has been invited by his maternal uncle Kamsa. So Akrura was sent by Kamsa, who is also related to Krishna, very wise, very gentle, very kind, and also more so ever is a great devotee of Krishna. He has been eagerly waiting to see Krishna. He was so happy that he has been selected, appointed for this service by Kamsa to go get Krishna to Mathura. And on his way, he was completely contemplating what's going to happen in Gokula. So he was meditating on his entire journey, and then finally approached the place where Nanda Maharaj was. And then he saw the beautiful village with a lot of cows. Everything was natural. Everything was very attractive and pleasing to eyes because he's coming from city. Mathura is a city. Vrindavan is not a city, it's a village. So when he came there, he was able to breathe fresh air, nice water, good people, innocent people. Lot of animals, domestic animals were there. These things are not found in cities. So he was quite happy. So we are also many times don't see any animals. The only time we can see animals is when you go to the zoo. Otherwise, we see some birds. That's it. So he saw these things. He was very happy. And then he also met Nanda Maharaj and then had a conversation with Krishna and Balaram and conveyed the message that their uncle Kamsa has invited them to come and participate in a in a special yaga, puja, Dhanur yaga that he is doing. Dhanur means bow, the arrow bow, the bow. So he's doing some special, whatever he came up with is an idea, special idea, and then he made this arrangement so he can have Krishna to come and participate in that place. So Akrura said, your uncle has invited you to come for that particular event. And also Akrura told the information that what is the reason behind for Kamsa to invite Krishna and Balaram. His intention is not to see him, but now try to finish him, kill him. And when Krishna and Balaram heard this one, they looked at each other and they jokingly smiled, thinking about foolish plan of Kamsa. And then Nanda Maharaj came and he also was given the information that Kamsa has invited Krishna and Balaram to participate. Then Nanda Maharaj became very happy because he didn't know the reason behind. So he became happy and he said, let's make an arrangement. We all will go. We also have, it's time for me to pay my tax to Kamsa, who's a king over all these areas. So it's time for me to pay the tax as well. So let's make all these great items with milk and ghee. So they made all nice preparation, yogurt and many milk products, whatever the milk product one can think of. He made so many beautiful milk products with ghee, fresh ghee. As we say that, organic is something special for us in nowadays. But those days, everything was organic. It was not artificial. There's no chemicals. There's no preservatives. Nothing was done. The only reason that we are adding all those things now, preservatives and things, because we can preserve those things for many days. But when you read Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavad Gita 17th chapter, Krishna says, Muhurtam, mean if a food is past certain hours, it is not in mode of goodness. It has to be not consumed. Therefore, in those days, it was very obvious, very natural for people to eat fresh food. They don't preserve it, they don't save it in the fridge, they don't do any of this thing. They cook it, they eat it, and they are done. And they again cook, they eat, and it's done. So they don't need to carry over for next meal either. And another important point is, in those days, they used to only eat for 2 times. They did eat in the morning, midday, and then later in the evening. There's no 3 meals concept, and there is no concept of in-between snacks, nothing like that. They do not pop anything inside their mouth. Once they eat their morning, they are done and they wait until they finish their whatever the duties are and take the second final meal for the day. And that's how the tradition was. Later it's all changed to 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then in between, there are many items that we pop in our mouth, right? So that's not the way that the tradition is and culture is, and even as per Ayurvedic, it's not what we are supposed to do. So as you all, I would have told this several times, those one eats for one time, they are called as yogi. Those who eat 2 times, they are called bogis. Those who are eating 3 times, they are called rogis, right? All interesting. Yogis, bogis, and rogis. So, yogi means saintly person, and then bogi means enjoyer, and rogi means diseased person. So if you eat 3 times, then you're considered to be a diseased person. But what about 3 plus then? Just imagine. So anyway, Akrura, when Nanda Maharaj heard this, they made all the nice preparation. They got ready, whatever you can think of with all the milk products, milk preparation, so many items. It is all made with all fresh milk and nice ghee. They all made nice packing and done. They were ready to go. And many of them loaded their cart, bullock cart, and then they were ready. And next day morning, Akrura got ready. Everyone took shower and then left. And they go on the way. They're ready to go. All they are going, they had nice conversation. Akrura was driving the chariot. It was going in the speed of wind. But then we also saw in the last session that as they were leaving, the gopis, the friends of Krishna, they felt miserable because Krishna is going to go away from them and not to come again, because city life is different compared to the village life. Anyone who's go to city, they pretty much settle down there. They don't come back here. And things are very attractive there. Therefore, Krishna is not going to come back. They were just crying and weeping and talking all sort of things that, blabbering many things out of being separated from Krishna. And then as the chariot was going, as Krishna said, I'll come back, don't worry. Then that gave some sort of confidence in them, but then they just went back. And Krishna, along with Balaram on the chariot, Akrura was going. And as they were going within few distance, there was Kalandi river. Kalandi is another name for Yamuna. So the Yamuna river was there, and it was right time for to do, in a day one has to do certain times, certain pujas. It is must. It is all again reduced now. So we have to spend our time in the morning. Every Sandhya, I mean at the juncture of a change of from morning to afternoon, from afternoon, night to morning, morning to afternoon, afternoon to evening. So different junctures are there. During this juncture, in a day, one should do certain pujas, Sandhya. This is called Sandhya time. So Akrura was the right time for him to do his duty. Nitya Anushtanam. Nitya Anushtanam means whatever need to be done every day, without fail one should do. There is Nitya Anushtanam, Nitya Karma, Naimitika Karma, and there is a Kamya Karma. These are all there in the Vedas. Nitya Karmas or whatever one has to do on a daily basis. Getting up in the morning, taking shower, getting ready to do the puja, chanting, and then cooking for the Lord, and then honoring the prasadam, and then studying the scriptures. All those things are daily activities. It's not that I will only do on Saturdays and Sundays, go to the temple. Only on Saturday I will chant. On Sunday, I'll catch up. If I'm chanting 5 runs now, I had so much work to do today. Therefore, tomorrow is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. Today I have to work. So today and tomorrow I'll add up together and do it tomorrow. That's not accepted. So whatever needs to be done on this day, one has to do it. That is Nitya Karma. There's no exception to Nitya Karma. Naimitika karmas are those karmas which are comes on a certain basis, Shraddha and a certain Grahana. All those things. Grahana means the eclipse. These are comes on certain. It's not on a daily basis. On an occasional basis, it comes. So these things has to be done without fail. And the Kamya karmas are also in the Vedas, where it says that if you do this one, you get that one. If you pray to Katyayani, you will get good husband. If you pray to Lord Shiva, you will get a beautiful, nice wife. If you pray to this god, you will get that one. So many things are there in the Vedas, and you do certain pujas to obtain that thing. That's called Kamya karmas. So Kamya karmas are not mandatory. It is optional. It's not, if you don't do it, we won't be punished. There's no punishment if we fail to do Kamya karma. Therefore, not to worry about that. But the Nitya Karma, Naimitya Karma are very important for one to perform. One should not fail to do that one. If one fails to do that one will be punished. If one does perfectly, there's nothing. It's just reward for, there's no any special reward for them. But if they fail to do it, they will be punished. It's like we're driving on the highways. If we're driving on the street, and as long as we follow the speed limit, we are good. We pass the speed limit. If I press the pedal accelerator from 30 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour, obviously we'll be get caught. Our license will be snatched away, and we'll be punished. But then you may ask a question to the cop. Well, for past half an hour, I've been following the speed limit correctly. You never came and gave me a reward. No one is going to ask that, right? But when we make mistake, we'll be punished. Like, therefore, Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma, if you're chanting every day, we have to chant every day. If you're listening, we have to listen. If you're reading, you have to read. If you're doing pujas, we have to do pujas. If you're doing some services, we got to do the services. There's no excuse for those things. One has to do those things. Now, therefore, Akrura, it was right time for him to perform Nitya Karma. So he decided, okay, let's go ahead. And he told Krishna and Balaram, please wait here near this chariot. Please be seated. I'll be right back. He told that one and then got into the river Yamuna. So before getting into the Yamuna, he offered his prayer to Yamuna. When we go to the holy places, it's not that we just do a dive into the holy rivers. That is not accepted. When we go to Ganga, Kaveri, Yamuna, Narmada, Sindhu, any of these rivers, one should be very respectful. One cannot just go and jump and consider that to be a swimming pool. It is not a swimming pool, by the way. We cannot jump into Yamuna and do games over there. Right? Krishna can do games. He was playing in Yamuna River, but we are not Krishnas. We are Krishna's devotees. So we should not be doing those things. We should be very respectful to Yamuna. So therefore, Akrura, before getting into the water, he offered his prayers, and then he got ready and entered into the water to do his prayers. He entered, he dipped himself into the water and then offered his prayer and opened his eyes. To his surprise, he saw something wonderful. He just couldn't believe his eyes. He couldn't believe his eyes. Inside the water, you all gone to the swimming pool, right? And I'm sure you have not gone to the river. You've not gone inside the river or inside the ocean. But inside the swimming pool, you won't find anything, right? But when you get into the river, inside the river, then you'll find a lot of things inside. You can find pebbles, stones, and shells, and fish, and so many different things are there, right? But then Akrura saw something very interesting. When he opened his eyes, he saw inside the water Krishna and Balaram. What? Krishna and Balaram inside the water? Maybe Akrura thought maybe they also got into the water to do their Nitya Karma. They also came to take bath into the river. He just thought maybe that could be the reason. And then he came out to surprise on the chariot without the dress being wet. Krishna and Balaram was sitting there. Akrura got confused. He thought maybe hallucination because I'm becoming old now, or too much medication I'm taking. Something is happening. So he went into the water again. Again he saw there Krishna Balaram, but now as the Lord lying on the Anantasesh. You all know Anantasesh. By now you all know all this thing. So he was lying on his bed, the snake, serpent, Anantasesh. He was lying there. And he was surrounded by many Gandharvas, Gandharvas, and many rishis and munis, and many others were there and offering their prayers and praising and doing harati and many things, right? So don't ask me the question, how can you do harati inside the water when the lamp is there? And please don't ask these tricky questions to me. It's Krishna. Krishna can do whatever he wants to do. Okay. It's all, when Krishna is there, it's all spiritual.
What is Harati?
Arati. Arati means offering the.
Oh, yeah.
Arati.
Thought you said Harati.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so he was quite overwhelmed to see Krishna in that way, where he's been offered the prayers by all these great souls, and many Gandharvas and Devatas, and many were there. They were all praising and praying. So Akrura just can't believe his own eyes. He cannot believe it, right? So he was stunned for a minute, and then he realized that this is not an ordinary person. He is the Supreme Lord himself. He knows that, but he is witnessing that now. Not that he didn't know that Krishna was the Supreme Lord, but then he's getting a chance to experience that, how Krishna is the Supreme Lord who has descended into this world. So he just started offering his prayers. He just said so many beautiful prayers. Tubhyam namaste tu avasyakta dastaye sarvatmane sarvadhiyam cha sakshine gunapravaha ayam avidyaya kritaha pravartate devanur triyag atmasu. I offer my obeisances to you, my Lord. You are the super soul. You are the Paramatma within every living entities. Every living entities, and you're not biased to anyone. You're unbiased. See, if you don't like someone, right, Mahati, if you don't like someone, will you go to their house, Mahati?
No, Prabhuji.
If someone does not like you, will they come to your house?
No, Prabhuji.
If you are very mean, which you are not, you're very good, kind girl, but just for example, if you're very mean to someone, will someone come to you?
No, Prabhuji.
But look at this, Krishna. Krishna is so very beautiful, so very gracious, so very compassionate, so very merciful, that he doesn't see that this person does not believe in me. That person believes in me. He gives donation to me. He does not give even a penny to me. He does service to me. He does not do service anything to me. He doesn't see any of those things. He is with everyone as Paramatma. Yes? Krishna says, you are not my devotee, therefore I will not be in you or heart as Paramatma. Will he say that? He won't say that. It doesn't matter whether you believe in God, you doesn't believe in God, you accept him, you don't accept him, you worship him, you don't worship him, right? He is there in each and everyone's heart. Everyone's heart. So he is everyone. That's what has been, he's offering his prayer. Akrura is offering his prayer. Therefore, the current material modes produced by force of ignorance grow strongly among the living beings who assume identities as demigods, humans, and animals. We don't understand your greatness, Krishna. Why? Because we are being like puppets in the hands of three modes, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. We are like puppets. They are playing, making us dance in Sattva-guna sometime in Rajoguna, sometime in Tamoguna. Right? Sometimes we are good, sometimes we are bad, sometimes we are kind, sometimes we are lazy, sometimes we don't want to come to Bhagavatam class because I want to sleep extra or I want to do something else, right? Things like that. It's all just happening because of the three gunas. The three gunas controls every one of us. Every one of us are controlled by three gunas. There's no exception at all. Whether it's the president of the United States, or whether it's someone, the Indra in the heavenly planet, or a pauper, a beggar on the street, every single person are completely controlled by the three modes. Therefore, my dear Lord, you're not an ordinary person. Why? Because you transcend. You're beyond all this, all these three modes. Namaha karanaya matsyaya pralayadbhi charaya cha Hayashirni namastubhyam madhukaitava mrityave. Then he says, I offer my obeisances to you, the cause of the creation. Lord Matsya, who swam about in the ocean of dissolution, to Lord Ayagriva, the killer of Madhu and Kaitava, to the immense tortoise, the Kurma, who supported Mandhara mountain, and to Bhor incarnation, Lord Varaha, who enjoyed lifting the earth. So he says, telling that, Lord, you are that Matsya avatar. You are Hayagriva avatar, you are Kurma, you are Varaha, you are Narasimha. So he's just praising namaste, namaste, namastubhyam, namaste adbhuta simhaya. Now he's telling namaste adbhuta simhaya. My dear Lord, you are Narasimha. Simhaya means lion. You are Narasimha. Sadhu loka bhayapaha. Vamanaya namastubhyam kranta tribhuvanaya cha. He says that you are Lord Narasimha, you are Vamana, who measured the three parts of the entire creation. Namo Brhunam Pate Dripta Kshatra Vanachite Namaste Rahu Varyaya Ravananta Karayacha. He says that you are the killer of Ravana. You are the killer of Ravana, who born in Rahu dynasty. Right? Namaste Vasudevaya Namaha Sankarasnaya Pradyumnaya Aniruddhaya Satvatam Pataye Namaha. Obeisances to you, Lord of Satvatas, unto your forms of Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. There are four, these are called Chaturyuga, Chaturvyuga, not Yuga, Chaturvyuga. Chaturvyuga means the Lord expands himself into four forms: Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna. And from each one of them comes Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, Shiva. And they take respective responsibility. We discussed these things in the previous cantos also.
I don't remember that.
Sorry?
Prabhuji, when did you talk about that?
About what? About what I said just now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we can just revisit again. So Krishna, from Krishna.
Prabhuji, are you supposed to be on recording? Because you're not.
I'm not recording.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not doing that. Ravi Prabhu is doing the service.
Oh, so Ravi Prabhu is not recording.
He is pretty prompt in doing it. I'm sure he's doing it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. And then he says, Namo Buddhyaya Shuddhaya Dhaitya Dhanava Mohine. Then he says that obeisances to your form as the faultless Lord Buddha. So Buddha avatar is also Lord himself, right? The incarnation of Buddha is none other than the Lord himself, who will bewilder the Dhaityas and Dhanavas. The purpose he came is to bewilder certain group of people, so that certain group of people get lost. Why? I think we covered this one. If you don't remember, let me know. I will speak about that also in a short way. And then he says that Lord Kalki, the annihilator of meat eaters, posing as king. Then he goes, Bhagavan Jiva Loke Ayam Mohita Tvaya Mayaya Aham Mamite Asagrho Brahmyate Karma Vartmasu. Here beautifully he says, now after praising the Lord, he is telling about his condition. So this is very important. When we pray to God, there are two things that are very important. Please, everyone hear carefully. Two things are very important. Number one, you'll be questioned later. Okay. Number one, when we go in front of God, we have to praise the Lord. Like how Akrura is praising, how Prahlad praised, how Dhruva praised. Right? We have to praise the Lord. We can only praise the Lord. How can we praise the Lord? I'm going to ask someone here. Let's pick now. Let's go with Akshara. Can you praise Krishna for 30 seconds?
You can do it as long as you want, as long as you praise Krishna.
Yeah, can you praise? How do you praise Krishna for 30 seconds? Just 30 seconds, timer starts now. So praise Krishna. Krishna is in front of you, right? So you want to praise Krishna. How do you praise? With your own words.
All we can do is Hare Krishna. That's all.
Do it. 30 seconds given to you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very nice way of praying and praising Krishna by just chanting his name, right? Now let's go with Diksha. How would you praise Krishna? You should not repeat what others said, okay? Unfortunately, whoever is going to be the last one, maybe it's going to be challenging for them, but I'm sorry. So Diksha, how would you praise Krishna in when you see Krishna in front of you? Don't tell me. You are going to talk to Krishna, okay? You can maybe I can turn off my video so that you don't see me and get scared. But just imagine that Krishna is right in front of you, and you're going to, now I know Samanvi start thinking, Mahati start thinking, oh my God, he's going to ask me next. I'm coming on to you also, so be prepared. So what are you going to praise? 30 seconds.
Like,
Timer starts now. You don't tell me like that, this. You're praising God.
Atma Rama Ananda Ramana, Atma Rama Ananda Ramana, Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana, Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana, Baba Bhayaharana Vandita Charana, Baba Bhayaharana Vandita Charana, Raghukula Bhushana Rajiva Lochana, Raghukula Bhushana Rajiva Lochana, Adinarayana Ananta Shayana, Adinarayana Ananta Shayana, Sachidananda Satyanarayan, Sachidananda Satyanarayana, Atma Rama Ananda Ramana, Ananda Ramana.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I know everyone else is eager now with whatever they want to say, but please excuse me. We will continue and I'll come back to you later. Okay. Sorry to disappoint you all, but we'll come back. Okay. Now, Akrura is saying that first half of the chapter is praises Krishna. He praises Krishna. That's what we saw now, right? I in fact just skipped many slokas, but beautiful slokas. But then the second half is talking about himself. So we go to the temple when we are in front of Krishna. First, we have to praise. Okay, that's what Diksha did, and that's what Akshara did. The second part, what I'm going to ask, Samanvi is going to do, and then Mahati is going to do, and maybe Meher, and if anyone else, Rukmini or whoever is there, they can participate. Okay, but keep it very short. What is the second part we have to do in front of God? What's the first part, Samanvi? What do we have to do in front of God?
Praising the Lord.
Praising the Lord. The second thing after we praise is to tell about our faults. Okay? We have to acknowledge our faults. These are my faults. We have to acknowledge to Krishna. Now that is going to be done by rest of you. Who wants to go first now? So you didn't, whatever you had a program in your mind, it's all gone now. Sorry. So this is how instantly we have to be proactive. You have to really be active here. Come on, who's going to go first?
What were you saying? What's the second part again?
Okay, the second part is you have to tell about yourself to Krishna. First part has been done. We praised Krishna. Second part is telling Krishna, these are my problems. Problems means not that I have a assignment, homework to do. My teacher is torturing me. My my dad did not get me the birthday gift. That's not the problems, right? The problems of us, meaning the doshas, the fault that we have within ourselves, right? That is what we need to tell to Krishna. So who is going to go first? Samanvi is looking at Mahati. Mahati is looking at Samanvi. And then Rukmini is looking at three of us. Oh, you go first. Now you all become very generous. You're giving opportunity to others to participate. When Ashok Prabhu tells who wants to go first, that time you raise your hand immediately. But now you're giving opportunity to others. Wonderful service attitude. Nice. But I won't leave you guys. Come on, go ahead. So I'm going to pick in 2 seconds if you're not going to raise your hand. 1, 2. Mahati, you're the honored. You've been honored to participate in this program. Please go first. you're going to tell your faults to Krishna. What are your faults?
Yes.
To remove my ego and like to
No, listen. One second. Prepare yourself. I'm not asking you to give a lecture like what I am doing. You're preparing yourself, right? In front of Krishna standing in front of you. You don't tell, you just don't look there and not like that, right? You are, yeah, Krishna, you know. So therefore, you have to respectfully say to Krishna, how would you do it? Enact and show me. Enact and show me.
please remove my ego.
Oh, Krishna next to you is telling, yes, I have. So you've been taken care. Your ego is gone. Your brother's name is Krishna, so he's took care of it. Okay, who wants to go next? Rukmini. Prayerful mode. Excuse me. Prayerful mode.
I have been drowning in the material ocean.
Then what? What do you want to do? So,
And
Krishna, so what? What's the problem?
and please
Excuse me, Rukmini. I have to go to Samanvi. So please make it fast. Krishna is speaking, not me.
so please remove my
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Samanvi.
Krishna, please take us out of the material world.
Thank you. Meher, you want to go next? 10 seconds.
Please let me walk slowly.
Wonderful. Thank you. You can do whatever prayer you want. So that's fine. We have Bhavya.
Oh God, Hariyo Patita Pavan, please liberate me from this material world which I'm drowning in the ocean of sorrow. Please, please, please give me the mercy of so that I can think of your two beautiful lotus feet at the time of death.
Thank you. Richisha.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What's your fault?
I'm asking you to say something. She's going to tell Hare Krishna then. Okay, very good. No problem. No problem. Let's move on. Thank you, Bhavya. Thank you, everyone. So that's how we pray. So exactly the same thing Akrura was also saying here. Bhagavan Jiva Loke Ayam Mahitastvaya Mayayaya Aham Mameti Asat Graho. There's an important point. Aham Mameti Asat Graho Brahmyate Karma Vartmasu. Brahmyate means I was in a complete illusion. Brahmyate. I was in complete illusion because Aham Mameti. I thought I and mine. Because of these two things, I get caught up into this material whirlpool and struggling here, wandering different things, expecting so many things out of my activities. Therefore, I was thinking my belongings, my body, my children, my home, my wife, my money, my cell phone, my car, my favorite pet, my toys, and color pencil and sketch, whatever it is, school bag, all those things belongs to me. In reality, everything belongs to you, Krishna. You're just given as you lent me all those things for me. So temporarily, and then he goes on saying that mistaking the temporary of the eternal for the eternal, my body for myself, a source of misery for source of happiness. I have tried to take pleasure in material dualities. Covered in this way by ignorance, I could not recognize you are real object of my love. Right? So he said, you are the real love. But then I was trying to derive and I was trying to find love from so many resources, so many ways. But whenever I try to do that, I'm having problem. I'm having problem because there doesn't seem to be a true love. Therefore, my Lord, you are my true love. So I just remember in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there's an Upanishad called Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There's a conversation happens between husband and wife. Let's rewind a little back. There was a rishi by name Yagnavalkar. He had two wives, Katyayani and Maitreyi. And then Yagnavalkya decided that he has to retire from his family life and fully dedicate himself in God consciousness. So he spoke to his wife, one of his wife, Katyayani. He said, "My dear wife, I want to go, retire and go and completely do dhyana meditation and want to go back to God." Katyayani said, "My dear husband, you're welcome to do whatever you like to do. No problem. Go for it. But please give your wallet. Give your wallet. Make sure you have the credit card, not credit card. Then I have to pay. Okay, yeah. Give me the bank details. Give me the access to everything. Make sure you add me as a beneficiary."
Wrong book.
Yeah, add me as a beneficiary and etc. Put a will for me, and then I will let you go, because one cannot take sannyas unless one's wife, if they are in grihastha ashram, unless the wife gives permission, one cannot take sannyas. Therefore, he was asking the wife to give permission. And the first wife, the wife Katyayani said, "Yes, you can go for it, but here is a condition. You give me these things, then you can, I'm happy, you can just go. You can go." And then he said, "Not a problem, I'll give you whatever you asked for." And then he went to the second wife, Maitreyi. What's her name? Maitreyi, right? Yeah. So he went to his wife and he said, "My dear wife, I already made the agreement with Katyayani. She agreed to it. Now I want your permission too. So I'm going to take sannyasam. So please give me a permission so I can go. And I'll make sure you get 50% of my property and everything. I'll give a 50% to Katyayani, you'll get 50%. And Maitreyi said, "Well, I don't want that 50% of your wealth. I don't want that." "Okay, what does he want? If you want to give me permission, if you want my permission for you to go, then I want something different." "What do you want?" "This is all I have. I can't go back to work. I'm done." "No, I don't want any money things." "Then what do you want?" And then she said, "Why are you leaving all your property, wife, and this nice ashram and everything and going? If you're leaving all these great things and going, that means what you're going to get by renouncing these things must be greater than this. Otherwise, no one is going to leave this." Right? Say if you get I don't know, say let's pick up here with Ananda. You're there. Can you hear me? Ananda? You hear me, right? So say you have some small toy, right? Some toy. You have a little toy. You're so attached to that toy. When would you give up that toy? When would you give up that toy? When would you get detached to that toy?
When I find a better one.
When you find a better one. Thank you, Ananda. Very good answer. Very good answer. Until we find a better one, we are not going to give the lower one, the one that we have. So you are leaving up all this thing, give up everything and going. That means for that thing that you're going must be greater than these things. So I want that one. Maitreyi said, "I want that one. Can you give me that?" What is he going for? He's going for the ultimate love of God. That's why he's going to go. That's where he's going to go for finally. Ultimate love of God, right? Bhakti. If that is what is going to give the complete happiness to you, what am I going to get with money and house and this and that? None of this is going to be important for me. So please give me that one. When Yajnavalkya heard this one, he became quite happy. And then he said that, beautifully he said, there's a big narration, the conversation goes between husband and wife. And he says that, "Nava are pati kamaya pati priyo bhavati, atmanastu kamaya pati priyo bhavati. Nava are jayaya kamaya jaya priya bhavati, atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Nava are putra kamaya putra priya bhavati, atmanastu kamaya putra priya bhavati." It just goes on and on and on and on and on. What he's trying to say is, Simply, we think this husband is mine. He is there for my satisfaction. Next, this wife is mine. She is there for my satisfaction. This child is mine and he is or she is for my satisfaction. Like that, it just goes on. But he finishes saying that in reality, no one is for no one. No one is for no one. We falsely think this person is mine, I am for that person, and that's how we try to do things. But the Upanishad says, Atmanastu, we are only for our own self and for Paramatma. We are there for Paramatma purpose, for the pleasure of the Lord, not for pleasure of anyone else, including ourselves. The reason we are here, we are there, is to please Krishna. That's all. But then how do we get that? How do we get this? Then he goes on saying, Atma vare, distabhyah, shrotavhyah, mantavhyah, niditsasabhyah. He said, you can only come to that stage when Atma vare, dristavhyah, shrotavhyah, mantavhyah, nidityasitavhyah. Maitreyi, my dear wife Maitreyi, it is only possible when Shrotra. Shrotra means first you have to start. What is it? What am I doing? When you start? When you start, come on.
Listening.
Listening. When you start hearing. First thing is to hear. We have to start hearing. And then mantavyaha. Mantavyaha means as soon as after you heard, mananam. Mananam means contemplation. So one has to contemplate on what has been heard. Niditya tavya means after that one has to, when you contemplate, for example, when you think about something, you think about that for some time. After that we get diverted, deviated, distracted with something else, right? But then nidityanam means there is no interruption in our thoughts, right? We can meditate, do dhyanam for hours together without any distraction. So first thing is hearing. After hearing, one has to contemplate. That contemplation has to increase its time frame. Initially contemplate for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, then increases to 10 minutes and 1 hour. And then when it increases to such an extent where one thought is not distracted at all, like Taila Taravati. Taila means oil. Taila Taravati means when you pour the oil. Have you ever poured oil? Anyone? Yes, Samanvi, you did? When you pour the oil from the bottle or some wherever it is, how does it fall down? How does it drop? I mean, how does it come? Samanvi?
It comes down from the bottle and drops wherever it needs to drop.
That is splatter anywhere, that the water gets spread everywhere when you're pouring the oil?
Yeah.
Does it? Oil does not do that. You have to try that. Ask your mom, give a bottle of oil and keep a cup and just pour it. And you'll see it goes a straight line. Just straight line. And another experiment you can do is, if your parents allows, you can do this as an assignment. If your parents allows. Okay, take a little bit of oil, pour it into the cup and watch how it is. And in another cup, take water and pour it. You'll see some difference there. Right? Oil comes like a rod, straight, without any splattering of anywhere. But water doesn't do that. When you open the tap, what happens? It goes everywhere, right? Yeah. So the meditation dhyana is such a way, Taila Taravat is just single focused. When one does it, drastavyaha, at that point of time, one can have a direct vision of the Lord, the self and the Lord. And what happens when one sees the Lord? What happens? What's the benefit of seeing the Lord? Vidyate hradaya grantiki chidyante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin driste paravare. Tasmin driste paravare. Tasmin driste means when you see the paravara, the Supreme Lord, vidyate hradaya grantiki chidyante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani. All our confusions will be lost. gone. Our attachment in the heart will be unknotted. Our karmas will be burnt into ashes. This all happens when we see the Lord. But to see the Lord, what one has to do? One has to do dhyana without any distraction. How can one do dhyana of Krishna without distraction? One has to contemplate first. Think about Krishna. Here, recollect what we heard in the classes. In mind, we chant the name of Krishna. How do we contemplate on Krishna? First of all, we have to come to the class and hear. if you don't hear, how we can contemplate on Krishna? Then how can we meditate on Krishna without any distraction? And how can we see Krishna to get rid of our papa and punya and all the confusions and attachments and everything? Nothing is possible. So the very first thing is shrotabhya. One has to start hearing, and that's what we are all doing here, right? We start doing that one. So that is what being told. Akrura was praising the Lord that I was thinking everything belongs to me, foolishly thinking everything belongs to me. In reality, everything is yours. But all those things are temporary. I am a fool, number one. Like how he just says very beautifully here in the sloka, Yatha bhuta jalam hitva partichannam tat udbhavaihi abhyate mriga trishnam vai tatvat twaham paran mukaha. Just as a fool overlook a body, I don't know if you've seen this one. Sometimes there are a lot of grass will be there. Under the grass, there'll be water. Under the grass, there'll be water, but the water will not be seen. Water will not be seen.
Yeah, there's in like the normal grass, there's still water, but it's actually hidden in the soil. There's moisture.
Yeah. So if you see a tall grass or tall plant, something underneath, there'll be a lot of water, but the water will be covered by these grass and plants. You won't be able to see.
Yeah.
1 second. Hold on. Yeah, 1 second. You have seen that? Okay, good, very good. So I've seen that also. So, but then instead of reaching that water, which is already available, I chase behind the mirage. You all know what mirage means? Yes? What is mirage, Mihar?
Mirage is actually a fake picture, but and your mind is thinking of it. It's like a false image, and you don't even know what it is. Like it mostly happens in deserts. When you're too much there, your brain kind of like fries out, and like you would think like, oh, there's an oasis, like a water well, and then there's not.
Very good. Thank you. Nice explanation. Very good. So if you go, when you go to the desert, you can see in the distance that as if there is a water, but that is not water. That's called mirage. So I was, instead of leaving the water, instead of getting the water which is right in front of me, accessible, I was going chasing the mirage, but there's no water. Mirage doesn't have, it's just a mirage. There's no water in there. Likewise, leaving you, Krishna, where you are the source of happiness, joy, bliss, everything. I was trying to find joy, happiness, and bliss somewhere else in a wrong place, but they were all like mirage. He just says that, it goes on, Namo Vijnaya Matraya Sarva Pratyaya Hetave. Then he says, obeisances to the Supreme Absolute Truth, possessor of unlimited energies. He is the embodiment of pure transcendental knowledge, the source of all kinds of awareness, and predominator of the force of nature that rule over the living entity. And then finally, in the last sloka, he says, Namaste Vasudevaya Sarvabhutaya Kshayaya Cha Rishi Keshaya Namastubhyam Prapannam Pahimam Prabho. This is where he surrenders. This sloka, 28, 29, and 30th sloka of chapter 40, or the prayers of surrendering. He's surrendering to the Lord. In the previous session also, we saw what surrender means. Surrendering means, my Lord, I cannot, who remembers two important things of Saranagati, surrender, that we spoke in the last session. Two important criteria to surrender to the Lord. Who remembers? The adults, the older kids can also participate, please. Two things we spoke. It was just 7 days back, 6 days back. For Sharanagati, these two are very important. That's when one is said a surrendered person. What are the two? Therefore, we are lacking contemplation. I do not consider this don't take it as an offensive thing. It is very important. When the class is over, we don't close the Zoom and close our thought process also. The thought process after the class should continue. We have to, that is called contemplation on Krishna. Class over, I just throw it away and then continue doing something else. It's not like that. We have to contemplate. We have to take notes. We have to remember what has been said. Ankinchanyam. Does this term at least sounds familiar? Ankinchanyam. Ananyagatitvam. Second word, Ananyagatitvam. Ankinchanyam, Ananyagatitvam. What are those two things? Since you all forgot, I get a chance to speak again. That's nice. Ananyagatitvam means I don't have a gati. I don't have any other shelter to go. I don't have any other shelter. It's only you, Krishna, your lotus feet, like Bhavya said. Your lotus feet are the only shelter for me. No other place. That is Gatitum, Ananya Gatitum, Ananya. There's no other shelter. Ankinchanya means, what do you have? Are you a rich man? Have you done all the steps given in the Vedas? Did you follow everything? Did you do Bhakti Yoga? Did you do Karma Yoga? Did you do Jnana Yoga? Excuse me, I don't do anything. Even if I did, I don't keep them as a credit to obtain you, because that has no value compared to you, right? Therefore, these are two important things for a person who's surrendering. I cannot help myself. No one can help me, and I don't have any credits, any good things in me where you can, take me. I don't have it. This is two things, and that is called surrender. That's surrender. So in Akrura, he's telling the same thing over here in this 28, 29, and 30th sloka. So I'm just going to read this 3, and then we can conclude today's session with this 40th chapter. Being thus fallen, I am approaching your feet for shelter. O Lord, because although the impure can never attain your feet, I think it is nevertheless possible by your mercy. Please hear carefully. I will repeat it. O Lord, because although the impure can never attain your feet, I think it is nevertheless possible by your mercy. Only when one's material life has ceased, O lotus-naveled Lord, can one develop consciousness of you by serving your pure devotees. How do one get to that level? What has been explained here? By serving the devotees. That is a very important factor. We have to serve the devotees. Serving the devotees will make us better in our life. Better in our life. If someone calls and tells, Prabhu, can you come to the temple? Then we say, Prabhu, you keep on asking me to come. Don't you find anyone else? Can't you find? Consider that the point here is that it's important that you be happy that you've been called so many times. That means you're a special person in Krishna's heart. Otherwise, why you will be given so many chances? Why many are not coming forward? That's because you've been selected by Krishna. That's how we should take it when service comes. When we don't hear from anyone that no one is calling me from the temple, no one is calling me, don't wait for the call. Rather, we can take the phone and call, Prabhuji, Mataji, is there? I've not heard from you for so long. Can I do something for the temple? Can I come and clean the temple? Can I buy something for the temple? Can I come and cook? Can I do something? So how many of us have voluntarily called and asked, is there anything for me to do? I'm free today. If my mind is free, I know what's going to happen. I don't want. One of our nice devotee, Ramacharya Prabhu. Whenever I talk to him, I tell him, Prabhu, you're. Maybe I just have to tell him it's personal, but still I have to tell because it's very inspiring. I tell him that Ramacharya Prabhu, your health is not that good. So he always calls and tells Prabhu, can I go to the temple? Can I go to the temple? And sometimes he calls, can I go and do Prabhupada service? I told him, Prabhu, your health is not that good. Why don't you please cut down and do whatever you're doing, preaching work, that's sufficient enough. And then immediately he said me, Prabhu, if I am idle mind is devil's, what is that? Who remembers? Who knows? Does children, anyone knows? When the mind is idle. Yes, Meher?
When the mind is idle, it's a devil. It's mind.
Okay. Yeah. So it is occupied by evil thoughts. So for Prabhu, please don't, I will take care of whatever. I want to keep myself very busy so I don't get caught into any evil thoughts. What a great, matured way of thinking about the services, right? So if you are running away from services, we are going to be caught by Maya. If you are taking services, we'll be saved by Krishna. So we have to make choice where we want to be and which side we want to be. So let me continue to the 29th sloka. Namo Vijnaya Matraya Sarva Pratyaya Hetave Purushesha Pradhanaya Brahmane Ananta Saktaye. Obeisances to the Supreme Absolute Truth, the possessor of unlimited energies. He is the embodiment of pure transcendental knowledge, the source of all kinds of awareness, and the predominator of the forces of nature that rule over the living being. Now he finishes, and the very last sloka, Namaste Vasudevaya Sarvabhutaya Kshayaya Cha Rishikesha Namastubhyam Prapannam Pahima Prabhu. O son of Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva, obeisances to you, within whom all living beings reside. O Lord of the mind and senses, again I offer you my obeisances. O Master, please protect me, who am surrendered unto you. O my Lord, protect me. I am surrendered unto you. Prapannam pahimam Prabho. O Master, Prabhu means Master. I'm surrendering to you. You take care of my life. I cannot deal with it. I cannot save myself. I don't have anything else. So you please take care of me. I'm your property. Akura offers his prayers. And then the journey continues to Mathura. So that's going to be 41st chapter that we will continue. Krishna and Balaram entering to Mathura. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful over in Mathura. Be excited. Just start thinking you're going to go to Mathura next week. Be happy. Nice place to visit.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's how you say it.
All right. Okay. Any questions, comments, corrections,
Nope.
criticism? Younger kids and older kids? Yeah, someone has raised their hand. Bhavya. Yes, go ahead, Bhavya.
Prabhuji, do animals also have to deal with the three moods as well? Like their consciousness has to do animals and trees. They both have to. They all their consciousness, their mood depends on the three moods. That's so. Prabhuji?
I want to tell the answer, but I want you to think about it, right? Why do we take birth, Bhavya? Why do we all take birth? What is the reason for our birth? You know the answer. We took. Why I am born?
Ourselves from
No. Why did we take birth? That's my question. Why did we take birth? On what basis you are a girl, I am a man? On what basis you are born in certain part of India, I born in certain part of India? I am dark, you are fair. I am fat, you are thin. Why do we have these differences? On what basis we got this body? You know the answer. Very simple answer.
Based on karma.
Exactly. Based on karma. Does the karma only applies to human bodies?
No.
No. That means it applies to animals, reptiles, plants, many things. Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. And the body is composed of 5 elements. Yes? Earth, water,
yes,
fire, air, ether.
Ether.
Yes, very good. And these 5 elements comes from pradhana, the prakriti, mula prakriti. there's something called Prakriti. From there, these 5 elements comes. And that Mula Prakriti as Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Yes?
Yes.
We also studied in our youth class, if you remember.
Yes.
The product, mother of the body is Pradhan, which has 3 elements. From it comes the body. So the body also inherits what? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Yes?
Yes.
That means whether it's an animal body, bird's body, human body, Indra body, Varuna body, doesn't matter. Any bodies written in this material world are composed, influenced by Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Sattva Guna. The only difference is the degree of the particular guna varies on the body that we get. The animal has lesser, more of Tamoguna compared to the other species. We have less of Sattva Guna, whereas the Devatas have more of Sattva Guna, but that does not mean that they don't have Rajoguna and Tamoguna. They also have. Only the percentage of between these 3 varies, depends on what body we get. Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else?
Prabhuji,
Yes, Rukmini.
I have a comment.
Oh, 1 second before you conclude with your comment. I just want to 2 minutes left. If there's anything else. So you're all going to reach out to your parents and do that Tahila Taravati experiment. You can remember Krishna by doing that experiment. Don't put on the carpet though. Okay, if there is no other questions, I'll hand over to Ashok Prabhu and he will take the further comments. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was a very good class. A lot of learning lessons, actually, very practical things from the class. So, yes, your hands are raised. Mani, Diksha.
I like the whole class. And is like, and Prabhuji, like, is the like the pouring the oil and pouring the water the homework for us?
Yes.
Provided your parents gives permission. I don't want to make this as a mandatory. If they are comfortable, yes, it'll be a nice experiment to do. And then you can see how the oil pours. Like that, we have to be focused in what we do. That's the idea. Be focused, don't be distracted. As children, we are, we all went through that stage. We know very well that it's very distracting. When we do something, we'll get distracted with something else. So the idea of doing this experiment is not to get distracted, be focused in what you do, especially in bhakti. That applies to other aspects as well, your assignment, your whatever school's work or other activities you're doing. Ashok, probably you want to say something.
Yeah, I want to say that it should be applicable more to adults to be focused. Children will get focused if they try, So I think it's all of us. We need to get focused.
Yes, I feel one advantage of this class, having more children, is I can really convey my message to the adults through the questions.
So I think for all the adults on this call, the messages which you heard is not for kids only. It's for everyone, all of us, actually.
Prabhuji?
That's coming from Ashok Prabhu's mouth. So please take it. I didn't say that, but I support it.
All right. Okay, Diksha, your hand is raised.
Like the whole class.
Thank you, Diksha. Thank you, Rukmini.
Akshara, you have your hand raised.
I love the whole class.
Thank you.
Love you too. Thank you.
You have to thank Lal Prabhuji for giving such a nice class. Thank you.
Yeah, we have to thank Vyasadeva, Prabhupada, all the great saints who have done this accessible for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.